Welcome to the Circle of Grace 1. I'm your host, Chief Principal Teacher and Founder Bishop Francis E. Revels-Bey. Circle of Grace 1 was founded on July 2nd, 1999 AD under the aegis and the anointing of the Angel of Grace through Divine Providence. And this is the Circle of Grace 1's channel here, and we've been doing a lot of work wanting to get some things together, and I've been trying to get work up here, video clips here of all the important work. Today's date is January the 28th, 2013, and it's roughly around about 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was spiritual wellness, and what can we do about establishing spiritual wellness in our life and then maintaining that. What do we do to lift up our spirit? And the concept that is here for us to now understand and comprehend, and these are some of the things that I've been teaching for the last 2 or 3 years online, is that we always have to remember who we are and what our relationship is to the divine aspect of ourselves, and how we can take that divine aspect of ourselves and bring it into a state of total materialization in our lives. And what we're learning as more time goes on, more wonderful moments of comprehending the divine with ourselves, is that we have various ways in which we can claim to be prosperous and abundant in our own lives. And finances are important, but what is equally well is wellness in our lives. And wellness is just having an overall balance. And what we're going to find out is that you can strive for material wealth as much as you want, but if you don't have that emotional well-being, that mental well-being, and that physical well-being, and your spiritual well-being, all the rest of that you're striving to really have will not truly come into place and won't be truly anchored in your life. And what you really want to know is that you and God are one. You are the image of the divine. The divine is materializing itself, re-expressing itself through you, and you are an intricate part of this. You're not separated from it. You are on target, as we say. You're not separated. You don't have to feel that you're missing the mark, but what you can feel is that you're working toward the mark, or that you're becoming toward a better understanding of yourself. And as the angel of grace is always presented in me through meditations, the angel of grace is also known as the Archangel Haniel, which is the governing angel for the Circle of Grace 1 and the Institute of Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance. It is always presenting that as much as we acquire things, we have to release things. Things are derived from our thoughts. And so we have to be aware that we create and we activate and we deactivate through the power of our thought processes. And so if there's something that you are thinking about all the time, and you begin to mix your emotional energy into it, your feelings into it, sooner or later you begin to materialize that. You begin to bring that which you think about all the time, that which you feel all the time, you begin to bring that into a state of fruition, and it becomes anchored in your life, and you begin to experience. You talk about it all the time. We are listening about it all the time now. And we're getting this greater understanding, all of us, that we are the expression of the divine on earth. We are the I am presence on earth. If you don't have an understanding of that, and if you're not striving to know that, then it becomes a little difficult to comprehend all the things that you continue to create in your life as issues or problems or difficulties. So we're here to replicate that understanding and get it very strong inside of ourselves. The power that is divine rests and flows deep from within the infinite wells of divinity that shall always and in always bring forth streams and rivers of completeness and wellness This is for our souls who reside in the presence of the I Am, with the consciousness of I Am. That means an activated consciousness, not a sleepy consciousness, but an activated consciousness of divinity. This is where we begin to understand that the I Am is of God, meaning it pertains to God, it comes from God, it is birthed through the presence of the God consciousness mind. So if we think that in the time of Sananda's time, where he said, you want to take on the mind of the Christ energy. You want to take on the mind, as they say when you study the paths of Buddhism. You want to take on the mind, the thinking of being Buddha, thinking of being the Christ or the anointed energy, thinking of being an energy of wellness, thinking of being an energy of pure creativity. If you begin to take that on, then your countenance becomes glorified, meaning your countenance becomes lit up with that energy. Your countenance becomes crowned with that energy. Your auric field reawakens, becomes totally activated. So you're always striving to bring that energy forward, so it is a full part of you. You're an integral part of the divine. You've always been of the divine. And so the more you refer to yourself as that, the more you do along those lines, the more you begin to think like that, then you begin to what? You begin to carry out that energy. I remember when I was studying Tai Chi, and this is almost 40 years ago when I first was introduced to it back in college. Now I can firmly say that I've been involved with the concept of Tai Chi since 1973. We're talking about 40 years ago. And I remember being on a bed of leaves doing some Shotokan karate on a bed of leaves. And this person, this young woman, was doing some movements on a bed of leaves day after I was doing my katas. And the leaves, I was making a lot of noise. I was on dry leaves down in a wooded area right there on the campus grounds. And I was on my way that next day late to an English writing class. And I noticed that this young woman, fellow student, was doing these very slow circular movements with her hands and stepping out to her right, to her left, and then would move forward, and then would be able to balance herself and move all the way around, almost facing me, and then moving the other direction in the same exact area, the same dry bed of leaves. She made absolutely no noise. Yet, she was totally aware of her environment. In fact, I couldn't have been any further than 10 yards behind her, and she motioned for me not to move. When she got done, we had a conversation. And from that point on, I waited for weeks to come for her teacher to come, and then watch her teacher perform these same slow movements. And he was doing Pt1, one of many thousands of forms of Pt1, Tai Chi Kung, Qigong that you could learn. He was doing a Yang style long form, and I remember during that time we were learning 108 movements. That's a lot of movements. And when you do it that slow, it takes you about 15 minutes to go through the entire form. You can do one of 60 minutes, and it may take you 10, 11 minutes if you take your time. And there are even shorter versions, 24 movement Tai Chi Chuan, 36 movement Tai Chi Chuan. Over the years, I developed one from 1988 on called my Tai Chi for Inner Spiritual Attunement, called White Eagle's Wings, and it only has 16 movements. And I acquired that just through the study of how the body moves as the chi is flowing through it. What is chi? The life force energy. The study of Tai Chi is really the study of integrating wellness on all levels in your life. So today, I just use that as an example. The Father, Mother, God of the universe, the divine expression of the universe, is always creating It's always creating. Even in the moments of what we call stillness, it is creating. You are a part of that, you too. When there's a moment of stillness, when you pause, you step into that inner chamber of silence. And you live and you breathe from that inner chamber of silence. And so we come to this understanding that we are the streams, the infinite streams of consciousness from the divine source. We are infinite streams of complete wholeness, not half wholeness, not 3/4 wholeness, but complete wholeness. This is what we're striving for. So as we move now in this part of this millennium of 2013 forward, we are all moving toward greater wellness. We're all doing whatever we are to do. Many people are experiencing difficulties. Difficulties in breathing, difficulties with physical movement. I myself are working on my issues that deal with weight. But you know what? We are to work at it joyfully, if we can, playfully, if we can, and stay what? Open to receiving information that will help us enhance our awareness so that we can move toward a better state of relaxation, a better state of deep breathing, a better state of focus, a better state to be able to have a more disciplined mind. You have a more disciplined mind, then your will is there, and the power of the will is there, and the power of feeling is there. Even on a much greater level, so that what? That energy, trifold energy of your mind, your will, and your feeling, or your thoughts and your feeling, can what? Bring you into a state of wholeness and wellness at every level of your life. You begin to listen to the body. The body wants fruit. The body wants something that is in the fruit. What is the body craving for that's in the fruit? The body knows certain minerals. The body knows certain vitamins that are there. You don't know that, but the body knows that. When I say the body, I'm talking about the cellular memory within you knows exactly what it needs to maintain itself, to be able to work into a higher plateau of living so that you can receive more energy, you receive more light. So as we begin to walk in this new destiny, this new era of time, we are all coming that the Lord, Father, Mother, God is ourselves. We are a part of that matrix of understanding. And we will continue to grow in that understanding. So one of the things you might want to say is, I choose to release all negative thoughts and feelings that have been lodged toward me from those who do not understand me, as well as myself. Because sometimes there are things that we place there. We all have gone through life where we experience the negative thoughts and negative feelings that are thrown in our path, that are thrown at us, that may have broken down our state of value, self-worth, our wellness, how we feel about ourselves. And we have absorbed some of that into our deeper consciousness called the subconscious. Subconscious doesn't know any difference between right or wrong. It only knows what you keep throwing in there. Sooner or later, that which is deep in your closet of your subconscious will pour forward. In other words, it'll break the seams and come forward. So you have to clear out those negative feelings. You have to clear out the doubt. You have to clear out the illusion. You have to clear out those old feelings, those old thoughts that have accumulated and created these cobwebs in your life, created these blockages. So as we begin to work at that, then we could feel better. Why? Because we will see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's going to be an infinite light. An infinite light, an infinite light that will move us forward, move you forward in your consciousness. You are a child of the light. You are a man and woman of the light. So therefore you are empowered by the same light that has empowered the universe, that fuels the stars. And it's overflowing with a consciousness that can think, that can create. How many of you, wherever you may be, let's take this as an exercise right now. I'm just stepping into something to assist you. Suppose you're experiencing where there's a lot of cold weather. Doesn't matter whether you're here in the United States or you're abroad in Europe. You're experiencing cold weather. It's cold where you reside. You're attempting to stay warm. What I want you to do right now, I want you to begin to remember a moment in your life, or a series of moments, where the weather was warm. Now it's cold outside your residence. Maybe you're viewing this on a smartphone. It's cold outside, but you need to warm up on the inside, not just outside in your current area, but on the inside. So I want you to begin to do some deep breathing. I want you to place your tongue to the roof of your mouth behind your two front teeth. And this is going to connect the circuitry of energy flowing up your back, over your spine, and coming down over the front part of your body. And this energy is going to settle into the second chakra, the seat of your collective creativity in your body. They call it sacral point. Or the Chinese call it Lord Dantian, the lower Dantian, the lower cauldron. And you're going to let that energy just sit there. And every time you inhale and exhale, you're going to gather all of the chi right there. And now that point is about 3 finger widths beneath your navel, right where the ridge of your navel is at the bottom down. About 3 finger widths, which is approximately about 1 inch below, 1.5 inches. And I want you to just focus all of your mind, all of your awareness there. And as you begin to do that, I want you to feel the energy. You can see it as not just a little cauldron pot, but like a little miniature sun. And begin to take on this little miniature sun like an orange sun that it is. And as you see this orange sun, as it begins to flow, as this orange sun, it begins to take on like maybe a reddish orange, and then it goes to a yellowish orange. But it's getting larger within you, within your body. And it begins to emit rays of energy out in all directions. So most certainly down your legs, down your pelvis, down your thighs, your muscles, going through your knees, going into your calves and shins, going into your ankles, down into the top of your feet, the soles of your feet, all the way into the earth, just releasing that energy, just streaming and flowing all the way down. If you want, you can cup your hands like this and place them right there. And now you're, holding this ball of energy right there. This energy now is growing and is prospering you on different levels, abundantly prospering you. And you feel this energy. If you want to kind of move the hands up a little bit around the navel and then back down again. Think of it now like a bouncing ball of energy, up and down. And you're kind of holding this ball up against your body. You can create a circular or elliptical motion if you like, bringing the hands up, keeping them clasped together, and think of your hands being inside this yellowish orange ball of light, this solar energy of light, your own chi that you're activating right here. Keep breathing into it, inhaling into it as you bring the hands down the inside of the ball, brushing past your body. You're exhaling, but coming up, you're inhaling. What we're looking to do is create a feeling of wellness. And the way you can do that is use the power of your breathing. The power of your breathing will take you a long way because it is moving through you. You have to breathe. You might now learn to breathe more slowly. Instead of panting through your mouth and doing shallow breath breathing, you are now breathing in a way that is acclimating the entire system, your nerve system, the glandular system, all the organs, the nerves in your body. Everything begins to dance with this light. What is this light? This is the light of divinity, the light of God's grace already in you. Not something out there. You don't have to imagine it being way out there. It's right here. It's right inside of you, right within your auric field. And as you begin to take this energy and feel its presence and see it within you, this time you draw up as you inhale, and there's a column or a pillar of light, a stream of light coming up and settling just in front of your navel. And then there you build upon that solar light. And you begin to see it open up, a yellow band of light, a yellow sun. And you can do the same thing. Cup the hands and place it there. Your hands in the midst of that solar energy at the third chakra. This is where it's like the seat of your ego, and you're embracing the ego. That's what you're doing. You're embracing it, you're allowing it to be, and then you're making it a part of the divine. So let's roll that into a circle. Inhale, coming up with the hands. Exhale, coming down. Keeping your hands inside the ball of solar yellowish energy. Mixing. You're just using this motion to replicate the mixing of the divine in you. Now, as you begin to play with this energy, you want to think to yourself, I am well. You want to feel wellness. You want to feel excited that you're well, that you're whole, that you're complete, that you're on the journey to completeness, to better days, better feeling. Remember, thoughts create things. You've got stiffness in your body. Think of this light flowing through you, this elliptical light flowing through you. Now, what I want you to do, we were working with the navel, and we were working with the third chakra, second chakra, third chakra, the chakra just beneath the navel, and then the chakra just above the navel. For a minute, cast that thought out like not throwing it away, but like a fisherman casting a line out to the bigger ocean of water. And now you're tuning in to the sun itself, through the line of thought, through the line of feeling. This is nothing new. Everyone who's ever worked with the science of breathing, the breath mechanism in the body, every century, every civilization, every tribal shamanic person has done this, has thrown their light, cast their light out, linked their light to the light of the universe. Have placed that thought pattern there, and have pulled on that resource, which is a divine source of energy, which now resources you. In other words, it fulfills you and it keeps you going. Just breathe into it and know that you're pulling towards your body and igniting within your auric field warmth, an energy of warmness, which will do what? You'll relax. All that tension you had up in your shoulders, you're going to relax it, and the chi, which is flowing through you, flowing through every organ, ligament, tendon, the bone marrow, you name it, the muscles, coming through the nerve endings, now is relaxing your body. And what is it doing? Is flowing in and around your body, creating complete wellness and wholeness for your body. You feel empowered because you're relaxing into the divine power, in the energy that's already there. Now say to yourself, I choose to be well. I am well. It's a choice for me to be well. I choose to be happy. I decide that I want to be happy. Therefore, not only do I feel happy, but I know that I am happy. And that every cell in my body is full of the joy of happiness. And I feel the warmth of the sun externally and internally. I feel the energy, the magnetism of the moon in the sacral chakra. I feel that divine feminine and that divine masculine energy coming and mixing and welding together as one. So now you're returning to the senses and the sense cells of divinity, being in this moment, for divine grace is now being imparted and intervening right now into your life, so that there is more of an infinite flow of divine grace that will be there in your life. People say, well, what is that? Why are you talking about divine? What's divine grace? And what are you speaking from? I'm speaking from the cellular memory from within you. When you're being graceful, you're showing more coordination. There's more smoothness. It's not a jerkiness that's going on. It's a smooth flow. When you walk, your gait is what? The distance from when your heel, from your leading foot comes down with your heel until the real foot toe comes up off the ground. That's your gait. We can have a shoulder width gait, a waistline gait, depending on which one is wider or smaller. When you do that, you are establishing a rhythm, and you're walking within your rhythm. So there's a rhythm in the entire universe. There's matrices of rhythms that are going on all the time. Or we call cycles. There's a lunar cycle, a solar cycle. There are other planetary cycles. And all you're doing is linking yourself up to those different cycles that are good for you. Universal cycle. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about establishing spiritual wellness. Meaning that you have the light, the presence of I am, the presence of God light within you to help you remember that you can live from a higher state of wellness where you don't worry about anything. I remember a friend of mine called me yesterday, one of my dear friends back east, and she wasn't feeling well. And I had her thinking about just what it was like with all the pain that's in her body, to think about how she can feel better. And I said, dear, all you got to do is put that image in your mind. When you put that image in your mind, you begin to see yourself flow. See yourself doing things you used to do. Instead of feeling or talking about how you're not feeling well, put the thought in your mind that you are well, that you will feel better as time goes on. And when you begin to put that thought that you're going to feel better when time goes on, in fact, you're not waiting for the moment to arrive. You're putting that seed of consciousness into your thinking and feeling moment right now, in the now. So when you do that, instead of I'm waiting to do this tomorrow, you do it now. And what will happen is you will trigger within yourself the divine memory, that consciousness where you were before. You once were healthy before, so you'll be healthy again. You'll be healthy now. You begin to pay attention to the clarion call from your body. And as you begin to pay attention to this clarion call from your body, you begin to radiate wellness, the consciousness of wellness. So there's a consciousness of spiritual wellness because you know who you are. You know you are of the God conscious mind self. you know that you have that within you, so you will always have this freshness, this renewed sense of who you are. Sense means direction. Since you were once off course, now you're back on course. You once were lost, now you're regained. And now you're moving forward. So we're going to end this right here. Until next time, I'm going to be back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about spiritual wellness. And we're going to talk about decrees and prayers and meditations. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. If you'd like to be in touch with me, email me at iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com, iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com, or Bishop Francis, written as one word, at circlegrace1.net. See you next time. Remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance.